Hey there, it's me, and sorry for my stunning beauty in my bed head today. I just got up and went to the gym and came right here. Excuse the goblin. I'm beginning to think that 90% of all internet drama can be avoided if you just do not go on Twitter. Because I was on Twitter yesterday and I saw this story and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I actually kind of agree with the statement here. But no, apparently I'm very, very wrong, and a bunch of goobers on the internet are very, very angry about what I'm about to tell you. Something that I think is for precautionary measures, something that has been tested in other countries and actually works really, really well. No, America, people are very, very angry about this thing that I think is a very good step towards safety for women. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So yesterday it was confirmed that Uber will let women drivers and riders request to avoid being paired with men starting next month in the US. And you know what? I actually kind of appreciate that sentiment. There have been multiple cases of sexual harassment or even sometimes assault, and it's just a well-known fact that women feel more comfortable with women. So I don't think that's a big deal to request to be with a woman. I don't think that's unreasonable at all. So I only saw this as a net positive. Why would anybody be upset about this? Women feel comfortable with women, so sure, why not? Let's make an opportunity for them to be with women. But you know what? You know what I didn't think about? That this is some sort of sexual discrimination. That's what this is. Actually, this is a huge deal that we need to put a stop to. Women feeling safe with other women? Are you freaking kidding me? Why would they feel safe with other women and not somebody like me who screams about everything? I'm so ticked off, honestly. I'm gonna go punch something, and they're lucky that they're not riding with me. What I just did there was a representation of most people in the Twitter comment section. Let me show you a couple of these soggy hot dog buns that are angry about this tweet. Sky's newsfeed says this: equal rights is a costume these clowns wear when it suits them. They really wanted special treatment like this in every aspect of their lives. But what if I want to ride with the women? Okay, this has nothing to do with equal rights. This has to do with women feel comfortable with women. And the fact that you have a problem with that is a little bit creepy and might be the reason that this is something that they're implementing in the first place. Bowtied Fullstack says this: if we can now segregate drivers by sex, why not race and age? Okay, alright, Mr. Tide, I have to tell you something. It's not about discrimination. It's not about segregation either. It's the same reason why women have different resting areas sometimes. Women have different restrooms. Because women don't want to be around men all the time, and that's okay. And a lot of people are talking about, oh, well, should men have this opportunity to be able to only choose a man? Whatever. That would be a fine thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to implement, but I've never met a man who hates riding in a car with a woman. Never once. Never once have I met a man who would feel uncomfortable with the opportunity to talk to a lady. As a matter of fact, if I were to ask every single man in the world, I'm pretty sure they would say, no, I would actually prefer to ride with a woman. And I'm not even talking about making a move on them type of way, but I grew up in a house full of women, right? So talking to women is just easy. It's sometimes you don't even need to come up with a conversation to have a conversation. It's whenever you start a conversation with a guy, it's like you're fighting him already. You just met him. You have no idea who this guy is, and you're already comparing 401ks. That's the kind of conversations that you have with guys. A lot of guys actually prefer to talk to girls because there's no competition there. You're just talking. I don't understand this idea that people are that these men are getting their panties in a twist about, oh, well, whatever happened to equal treatment or equal rights? It's so ridiculous. Well, what if I want to ride with only a man? Sure, Uber could do something like that. And as a matter of fact, I would imagine they might after seeing all of this. But it's not like it's an unfathomable thing that women want to ride with women and men don't actually care that much. As a matter of fact, they probably would also prefer to ride with women. VAP 2023 says, sounds like there's a sexual assault problem, but go ahead and pretend it's discrimination. I agree with you, VAP. What I don't agree with you is this goofy little AI generated profile picture. To be fair, look at my profile picture down there. I have nothing to say. But it's funny because as I was scrolling through Twitter, that this is what the majority of the profile pictures are. It's like some sort of AI generated American thing, which is just kind of funny. It's a funny little thing that everybody has. But I agree with you. It sounds like there's an actual problem in America that needs to be talked about, and if Uber's trying to go in the right direction with that, I don't see why that's an issue. Can we get an avoid women option? I'd prefer not to wreck the... Okay, alright, Doki. That's not a funny joke. That's not funny. Don't even try to get me to read that. Josh Woolley says this: how is this not discrimination on the basis of sex? I could see a class action lawsuit brought up against Uber by male drivers who can show that their earnings took a hit from this discriminatory policy against males. Oh yeah, Josh Woolley, why don't you just go cry about it? It really does seem like you have nothing to do when all you're doing is coming on the internet and being like, all men are gonna sue Uber now. All men, you better get ready because every single male in existence is gonna be ticked off about what you're doing. You're making rides safer for women. Then how are we supposed to harass them? Have you ever thought about that? Are you too selfish, Uber? Are you too lost in the sauce of trying to help women? What about us? Huh? Am I right, men? Am I right? That sounds like illegal discrimination. Illegal discrimination. No, it doesn't. It sounds like a new policy that they're implementing to help people. Sarah Bird, can somebody please explain to me the logic behind this? Sure, as I've done multiple times, women, who you are one of, feel safer with women. And it's a policy that you don't even have to use. It's something that you don't have to do. They're not forcing women to be with only women, but they are saying, hey, it's an option if you would like to not ride in a car alone with a male stranger, you can ride with a female. But the thing is, Sarah Bird, you don't actually care about this. You just tweeted that to get more traffic to your OnlyFans page, didn't you? That's the reason I had to scribble out this here, because you actually don't care about what you're talking about. You're just spamming the comment section on Twitter to get people to your OnlyFans. Twitter's such an amazing thing. I love it. It's the best place on the internet, actually. Okay, finally, I'm going to close off on this because this is something I didn't know until I saw this guy's tweet, and I think it's very interesting to talk about. Rob Lucy says, it is really simple. Women feel safer with other women. That's the big reason we don't want men in the female bathrooms. Plus, this policy is working good in Japan so far. All right, America, so this is not a new thing. This is not something that Uber just pulled out of their butt and was like, oh yeah, here you go. This is something good. This is something that actually has been done in Japan since apparently the early 2000s. It says this: in Japan, women-only train cars or women passenger cars are a measure implemented to combat sexual harassment and groping on crowded trains, especially during rush hour. These cars are not a new concept, with origins dating back to the early 20th century, but they gained prominence again in the early 2000s due to rising reports of sexual harassment. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think it feels like nowadays we have kind of lost the idea of protecting women, like giving them the option that if they would like to ride with somebody who's not a male stranger, then you can have that. Like, it feels like we've actively moved away from that for some reason. And I kind of like that Uber is leaning towards, hey, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I'm saying if you'd like to do this, you can now ride with a female driver, or you can only accept female passengers. Totally fine. I think that is a totally reasonable thing to do. And as Japan has shown, it's a good thing that women can get away from any sort of harassment or any sort of inappropriate conversations that inevitably does happen when you have men and women alone together. Not all of the time, but if that's just something that is constantly happening, there's going to be creeps, there's going to be pervos that are going to take advantage of that. And if you want to avoid that altogether, you can take this option. Or you don't have to use this product. So you don't have to get mad and tweet about this. You just don't click that option. Why are you mad? I don't understand. Anyway, I just thought that was silly. So that's all I got for you. Love you. Bye.